Welcome to Books Without Borders. Today my review is about a book called 1001 Inventions, The Enduring Legacy of Muslim Civilization by Salim T.S. Al-Hazani. We often don't think about inventions and their inventors, and let's be honest, why would we? We're just interested in the finished product. Until I read this book, I used to imagine inventors as some kind of wacky scientists. Before I continue with my review, stop what you're doing for a few seconds and look around you and think about this. Everything you see has at one point been invented and therefore had an inventor. The phone or computer you're watching this video on had an inventor. The internet had an inventor. The glasses you use, the clothes you wear, the food you eat and drink, they all had an inventor. 1001 Inventions provides a captivating insight into a period in Muslim history that has been looked over by much of the world. Not that we think about it very much, but 1001 Inventions takes us back to a time where discoveries were made and inventions were created that have impacted how Western civilization and the rest of the world lives today. The book covers 7 aspects of life relatable to everyone, including home, school, hospital, market, town, world, and universe. With a book exploring 1001 of the most important inventions of all time, I would not normally consider picking up this book to read, but the cover got me interested. Due to an unfortunate combination of politics and the way our news media works, so many people have inaccurate or limited pictures of Islam and Muslims. Books like this are important to remind us of positive influences that Islam has had on the world, and that today's Muslims are heirs to a brilliant civilization. We have an obligation to appreciate that and live up to it in our own lives now. You will be pleased to know that I will not be talking about all 1001 inventions, but a few carefully selected ones that will make you go, wow, really? And hopefully will leave you wanting to know more. With so many to choose from, it is hard to know which one I should share with you first. Okay, here's one that I know you will like. Before I begin, why not grab a coffee? No, just joking. But how was coffee invented? More than 1.5 billion cups of coffee are drunk worldwide every day, enough to fill nearly 300 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Coffee is the second largest commodity-based product. Only oil beats it. But where does it come from? More than 1,200 years ago, a goat herder Arab named Khalid discovered the simple life-changing substance. As his goats nibbled on the Ethiopian slopes, he noticed they became very excited and lively after eating a particular berry. Instead of just eating the berries, people boiled them to create al-kawa. And there we are, the invention of coffee. Here is another invention in the book that I found incredibly interesting. Flight. The concept of flight has fascinated and challenged humans for thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians left behind many paintings demonstrating their desire to fly, depicting pharaohs soaring with wings. The first Muslim, and perhaps person, to make a real attempt to construct a flying machine and fly was Qutb Abbas ibn Firnas in the 9th century. Designing the first of its kind, a flying machine successfully capable of carrying a human into the air, the first flight took place in 852. Another invention which seems so ordinary in today's world: paper. Paper has been fundamental to modern civilization today. If you think of all the pieces of paper you use every day, such as magazines, TV guides, all of your mail, newspapers, paper towels, 1100 years ago, Muslims were manufacturing paper in Baghdad after the capture of Chinese prisoners in the Battle of Talis in 751. Was your childhood filled with the noise of clackers or fiddling with a Rubik's Cube, trying to match all the colours? Games and puzzles, whether they're used for business or leisure purposes, are a source of fascination for both children and adults. In the 9th century, the sense of human enjoyment was captured by 3 Muslim brothers known as the Banu Musa brothers. As well as being great mathematicians and translators, they also invented trick devices, or as others call, a precursor to executive toys. Do you like your bath? The Islamic bath original became an integral part of the culture, as cleanliness is linked to purity in the Quran. So warm baths were the norm in Islamic lands throughout the Dark Ages. I remember reading an article, and in 1529 a man named Sir John Teffy was opposed to bathing, writing, "Many folk that bathed themselves in cold water have died." I was pretty amazed at the number of ideas and inventions which were improved or spread to Europe from Asia and Africa, or improved within the Muslim empires. Simple things we take for granted, from the medical instruments designed by Al-Zawahiri, recognised by 19th century Western medical historians as being at the forefront of surgical innovation. Arabic maps, which Columbus studied, perfume recipes recorded in Al-Kindi's book of the chemistry of perfume and distillations, which eventually spread to France. Hassan al-Rama's purification procedures for potassium nitrate to make exploding gunpowder, to the amazing feats of naval exploration by Admiral Zheng He, a Chinese Muslim. This book outlines the history and tells the stories of these historical names and what they contributed to science, architecture, agriculture, astronomy, etc. Truly a valuable history book. Overall, I found the book very inspiring and jam-packed full of information about discoveries and practices that shape the world we live in today. Every time I drink a coffee, I'll remember it was some Muslim shepherd who saw their flock eating these berries and decided they tasted better roasted and mixed with sugars and spices.